It was apparently round a corner of the gallery, and he was eager to know what caused it. If anyone had been given permission to come down into the mine, Ted should have been told. But he couldn't think of a reason why anyone would want to. Finally, Ted reached the corner of the gallery, and then he saw it. Green, glowing sludge was pouring in from a crack in the roof, cascading down a wall and forming a pool on the floor. The pool of sludge was already 2 or 3 inches thick in some places, and it bubbled as though alive. Ted moved forward cautiously. Instinctively, he wanted to touch it, but common sense told him to keep his distance. He backed away. Then, as he turned to go, a crack appeared in the ceiling above him. He looked up in time to see green sludge start to pour through from above. Before he had time to jump out of the way, a droplet of sludge landed on his left trouser leg. Without thinking, he tried to brush it off. The sludge stuck to his fingers, and he could feel it bite into the skin. He rubbed them against the rocky wall of the mine. The surplus sludge went from his fingers onto the wall, but the parts of his fingers that had touched the sludge now glowed green. He raced along the gallery towards the mine's lift shaft. When he got to the lift, panting for breath, he looked at his fingers in horror. The whole of his hand was now glowing bright green. He fell into the colliery lift, slammed the gates, and pulled the lever that would hurtle him 500 yards up to the surface. While the village of Llanfairpwll had lost its coal mine, it had gained Panorama Chemicals. This was a new industry in the village, with a small oil refinery, very modern office buildings, and an imposing set of gates and high fences to keep out intruders. A large number of villagers were gathered outside the main gates when Dr. Thomas Stevens, managing director of Panorama Chemicals, arrived in his big black chauffeur-driven car. As the gates opened to admit the car, angry fists waved at Dr. Stevens, and a number of posters were held out in front of him. They read, "Free Wales, English out, and jobs for coal miners." The elegantly dressed Dr. Stevens smiled back at everyone through the glass windows of his vast limousine, and the car glided forward to the front entrance of the main administration block. Mark Elgin, the company's public relations officer, was standing there to greet Dr. Stevens. Elgin opened the car's door, and Dr. Stevens stepped out. "Welcome back, sir," said Elgin. "What's the news?" "Oh, it's all good," said Dr. Stevens. Then he gestured to the crowd on the other side of the main gate. "How long has this been going on?" "Since early this morning," said Elgin. "The usual unemployed layabouts." Elgin came from a working-class background himself, but through being bright at examinations had gone to university and now considered himself superior to others less fortunate. Dr. Stevens, who was feeling in a slightly more benevolent mood, put on a show of concern for the people crowded on the other side of the gate. "But what's worrying them this time?" he asked. "I suppose, sir," said Elgin, "they want to know what is going to happen." "In that case," replied Dr. Stevens, "I shall tell them." He went forward to the gate so that the people could hear him and waved a piece of paper at them. "I have here in my hand," he said slowly and loudly, "a paper which will mean a great deal to all of you." He paused for dramatic effect, then called out, "Wealth in our time!" A small cheer went up from some members of the village crowd. Dr. Stevens took a couple of steps nearer to the gates. "Of course, we all regret that the National Coal Board closed down the mine," he said, not regretting it at all himself, but knowing this would please his listeners. "But we must not be bitter. We have to face facts. Coal is a dying industry. Oil is our future now, and the government agrees with me. They have not only given us the go-ahead for our plans, they have promised us money for expansion. I have it here in black and white."